Hotline. I'm Brent Daniels.
I'm Jamil Damji.
And I'm Jerry Norton.
And I'm Morby.
Every week we bring you the best information on real estate investing.
Be sure to participate in the comments.
And subscribe.
Enjoy the show!
So thank you so much for calling Wholesale Hotline. That's it.
Wow, that's great.
Welcome to Wholesale Hotline number 252. Oh, happy New Year, everybody. After this show, it'll be almost 400 hours of this hotline. We owe it all to everybody that's listening to the podcast, that's watching our YouTube channels. Thank you so much for joining us on Mondays and or when you watch it afterwards. We love you guys so much. And 2025, I say this every year, but I truly believe this because we keep learning and we keep growing and things keep adjusting every year. Wholesaling and real estate investing and investing in your own brain it's going to be the best year ever. And it's the best investment that you can make is in your own knowledge. Take away everything, lose everything, make stupid choices, make stupid decisions, do all of that stuff. They cannot take your skills. They cannot take your knowledge. That's all you. And I applaud everybody that joins us. You're amazing. And we love you. That's why we do this every single Monday for almost 400 hours. Jerry Norton.
I haven't seen you, Brent, since last year. How you doing?
I'm good. I feel older. I feel wiser. I feel refreshed. Ooh. I feel enthusiastic. It's already off to a fast start in 2025. Yeah. And it was one of those weird years, right, Jerry, where, the holidays kind of came in the middle of the week and we were closing deals the whole time. So,
hey, J-Man.
What's up?
And
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, brother.
Yeah, if it's any indication of how 2025 is going to be, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Closing deals, working with great new students.
Jamil, going well. New wardrobe for 2025, Jamil?
Yeah, maybe. I flip-flop between black and white.
Yeah.
So I'm just on the other half of the closet right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, when you do laundry once a month, that's what happens.
That's it.
Who says I do it once a month? I don't wash clothes. I just buy new shit. I'm rich.
One time.
Yeah.
Wear it one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
How are you guys?
Awesome.
What I miss?
Like I said, we're just opening it up. This year is getting me really excited. And I think going into January with a ton of enthusiasm is important.
100%.
I think it is. I think it's the rocket fuel. The engine doesn't run without fuel. And I feel people feel my experience is people feel lighter. And when you feel lighter, you can be more open to growth. And when you're open to growth, you change and you grow and you win. Mm-hmm. And so it's all about implementing the plan. And I hope everybody put together a plan for what they're going to do in 2025.
What, Brent, let's kind of pull on the thread a bit for what you're saying right now, because I think it's so important. One of the things that I feel every one of the hosts of Wholesale Hotline has for the business is the enthusiasm, the enthusiasm to do the things we do. And I want to highlight the word that you're using here on purpose, because when he talks about fuel and the enthusiasm being the fuel, he's right on the money. He is right on the money with that, because when you lack that enthusiasm, the moment you hit that obstacle is where you're going to have your first test. And that's where you're going to get the decision to quit or to carry on. And enthusiasm is typically when you really enjoy what you're doing, when you really just feel like, man, this business lights me up. These conversations feel good. Helping people is amazing, but these checks and these wires that show up in my account are phenomenal. I can't believe I get to do this.
Yeah.
But that is like the reward-based enthusiasm. We're talking about enthusiasm just based off of enjoying the process of learning the thing that we're doing. So it's so important that you check yourself every day before you get on the phones, before you start the process of your action for the day, and check your attitude. You know, am I enthusiastic today? Do I feel good about what I'm doing today? Am I happy? Am I in a good place right now? Do I need to reset? Do I need to go, you know, maybe say some affirmations, go call my mother and tell her how grateful I am for her, or whatever it is? Like, do I need to go and reset myself? We all know, or you should have an activity that you do that can help you change your state. Do you know what I mean? When I do. For you, it's working out, I would imagine, right? You do some bicep curls, and Brent changes his emotional state, right? You're in a bad mood. Brent goes to the gym, comes out, good mood. For me, if I'm feeling a little off, I can do some breath work, or I can do, you know, a guided meditation. I come out of that, great mood. Mm-hmm. Jerry has incredible family, so he could go hug one of the 10, you know, or just
what do you do, Jerry?
Yeah, what's one of your things that you're doing to change your state?
It's not change diapers. It's not that.
You're past.
No, but I agree. I agree. I mean, honestly, if you can keep yourself in a state of gratitude, I mean, that just keeps you in that place of just performing at a high level. You know, I have a belief that money goes where your energy flows. And so where's your energy? And are you bringing that energy to everything you do? You know, there's parts of this business that all of us hate doing. There's parts that are hard. There's discouraging moments. There's discomfort, all of that. But man, I wake up. I remember Jamil, when you and I were in Puerto Rico, I shared a thought when we first started the day where I drove in like an hour and 45 minutes of traffic to get to the hotel where we were doing the workshop. And the entire time I felt immense gratitude that I didn't have to do that every day like a lot of people do, right? That I get to work from home and I get to travel and live where I want to live and all these things. And so I find that if I can keep myself in this tremendous state of gratitude for the blessings in my life, then even the mundane things and the hard stuff is nothing compared to what 99% of the world has to go through. We are so incredibly blessed to live in this free country and to have an opportunity to do real estate deals, you know, like, and there's no limit, there's no ceiling on our income, right? I mean, like, I hope you guys realize just what a tremendous blessing that is as we go into the new year here and feel immense gratitude. Brent, you put out a reel that you and I were doing on one of these hotlines, and it was, I think I said something to the effect of, we don't have to do this. We get to do this. Guys, we get to do this. Isn't that incredible that we get to do this, not have to do this?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, I was really reflecting on the last couple of weeks, and I was like, why do people wholesale? Like if you're just getting into anything, you're just an entrepreneur, or maybe you've been working or you've been in the military, or you've been working a job for a long time. Why even start this?
Well, I think we actually have somebody in studio right now that could give you that perspective. And let's do it. But hold on, Slater, if you don't mind, I know I'm putting you on the spot here. We'll call you up in a second, but I want to preface this. Okay, so Slate, he was the EMT on our TV set.
Yeah.
So he was there checking for COVID every 10 or 15 minutes. Too many times. I don't know how many. He has an intimate knowledge of my nostrils.
Oh, nice.
Right?
That's right.
But he was, of course, a fly on the wall in that, right? Because he was there watching what's going on. He had to make sure that the protocols were being followed, all the things. But was also like paying attention to what the heck was going on. He's like, what is happening? What are these guys doing? Right, Slater, could you come up here and say hello to the folks? He texted me today and he's like, hey, I'm in town. Can I or we're in the office? Can we stop by a hotline? He's our franchise owner in Colorado. What's up, baby?
How's it going?
Happy New Year.
Good to see you. Happy New Year.
So we didn't preface this, and I didn't tell you that you were going to come on. You might have shaved if we had, but I'm so
without a doubt.
Why wholesale, please?
I got to be honest, and this goes out to everybody. Wholesaling changed my life. It really did. As Jamil said, I was an EMT on the show. I wanted to be a firefighter more than anything.
Yeah.
And going to interview after interview and just getting the thanks, but no thanks. And I was having a baby on the way. COVID was coming down. I was going to lose that career. And I needed a change. And I'll never forget going into my launch week, learning how to do wholesaling. And right away, I said to myself, this is something I can do. It's going to take work. It's going to take hours, and it's going to take consistency. That was the biggest thing for me, is just get your butt in the office every day and do the job. And I'm here now 2 years later with the second franchise, and get to work with my brother. He's one of my part owners, and we're blessed. We are truly blessed to be in the situation we are. And we're just so excited for our 2025. I mean, I really have these guys to thank, and I wouldn't be here without these guys. And that's why I come to things like this and try to pay it forward, because I wouldn't be here without Jamil and Brent and all these guys that have helped me get to where I am. And so get yourself out there, and anybody can do this. Anybody can learn it. My brother had no real estate experience. I had no real estate experience, but I knew this was something that I had to do and that I could do. And I got really excited about it, and I got excited about working with my brother. And just like Brent and Jamil are talking about here, I got appreciative of what my life was, and the fact that I was able to own my own business and make as much as I'm willing to put in the work. So
how did it go for you last year, by the way? I'm totally putting you on the spot.
Yeah,
this could go, I don't know what the answer is going to be. So how did it go?
It was a good year for us. We, we're a 2-man team. It's myself and my brother. And we've gone with the mindset. We wanted to build this up just with ourselves before we bring anybody into this. Sure. And we were able to do over $300,000 in sales last year.
Baby. What were you making before?
At my COVID job, I probably just cleared 80 grand for the year. And that's,
and that's good. Clearing 80 grand is
it changed my life. But then, I got into this, and my wife and I talk about it every day. I mean, we say how crazy it is that we're here in this, and it's just about taking the jump. It's taking the leap and having that trust in yourself that you can do this. You got to believe, like Brent and Jamil are saying, you got to believe in the process. You have to believe in yourself. Calls aren't easy. Jake and I talk, we have a discussion every day about the tough calls, but it's about getting past those, what makes you a great wholesaler or not. And not picking up the phone and ignoring those. It's about getting in front of it and about handling issues that they come on, because now we've gotten to the point where we've made those issues more fun. We've made them, how can we problem solve, and how can we make this solution the best solution for these sellers or for our buyers? And so it's been a journey. It's been a lot of work. There's no doubt about it, guys. It's been a lot of work, but we don't have any complaints. I mean, I'm here working with my brother every day. I get to come to Wholesale Hotline.
Yeah, how cool is that?
It's the dream.
Let me ask you this. So were you always working like 9 to 5 jobs? So when you don't have that, when do you feel most productive? Because nobody's telling you to be productive. This is all you gotta get yourself up for this.
Coming from someone like me, guys, that really needed that motivation and that self-motivation, it comes from inside, and it comes from again, like Brent was saying, having a 9 to 5. I didn't want to make that drive every day, 45 minutes and to my work, and all the 9 to 5s I'd been at, I had bosses that didn't see the value of yourself. So being able to run your own company and the value is based off of the work that you put in solely. When I'm having deals close, things are good. I can pat myself on the back. When I don't have anything in the pipeline, that's on me. I need to get back on the phones, and I'm not doing my job. So it was a wake-up call for sure. And just to add a little tidbit, when we bought our first franchise, we had the intention of my wife doing one half of it and me doing the other half. And then the week we signed our franchise documents, we found out she was pregnant. So I had to take it. I had to learn both sides of it. I had to learn all assets of the facets of the business, and then got to have the opportunity. Thank God my brother came along, and we got to learn this thing together. And it's been a dream come true, guys. I mean, it's not without its hardships, but everything good has its own problems, but the problems have been fun. It's been fun learning and getting past those problems. It's been fun having a community. I played sports my whole life, and that was why I wanted to be a firefighter. I wanted to be a part of a team
Team.
again. And this has made me feel that to be a part of a team again and to be able to go to events and meet people that have seen me either on videos or you know, through a friend, you know, in the industry. And that's my favorite part of the job, is hearing about other people's wins and being able to, I mean, I think 60% of our deals last year were with Astro students or other wholesalers. Wow. And I mean, and I'd say about 30% of those were first-time deals with Astro students or wholesalers. And those are the best. Those are so much fun. Just to be able to split a $20K assignment fee with somebody is just the best feeling in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So where'd you get your second franchise? Why don't you tell
Sure,
people how
yeah.
they can work with you?
Yeah.
You're not on Wholesale Hotline and not take the chance to put it out.
Hey,
there.
I really, you know, this is just great, guys. But my brother and I, we own a Keegley franchise. And we own a Keegley franchise in Colorado Springs. And thanks for the mustache. I appreciate it. Been working on it for a while. This is my brother Jake here, guys. And he runs our ACT team, and I run our dispo, but I jump on ACT as well. And we own Colorado Springs as well as Denver. So we work the whole state of Colorado, and mainly in wholesale. But if you do, you know, other things, please feel free to reach out. We can definitely get you the right resources. But even if it's something that's out of state, call me. We're always here to help. That's what we'll definitely get you in the right direction. Yeah. So.
Wow.
Awesome.
Love you, bro.
Thank you.
Thank
you for saying hello.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Great job. How would I look if I drew a mustache like that on me?
You have a mustache.
But I have a half
It'd be
stash.
different if I did it. I can't grow one. I
We
don't know.
could draw it on you.
We could draw.
Who
one.
wants to see us draw Slater's mustache on Brent for the next episode of Wholesale? He's like,
put it in the chat. I will do it.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That was really thank
No
you.
one will recognize your value.
I mean,
right?
I don't even remember what that feels like, brother. I haven't had a job and I can't even remember how long.
I've never had a job.
Yeah.
Wow. You've never had a job?
I couldn't. I don't know. I
fired.
wanted to just go. Yeah.
That's the whitest
get
thing I've
fired.
ever heard him say. I'm just joking. I love you.
Never. What job did you have?
No, most Caucasian people have jobs. Let's be honest. I had jobs. I was in a call center. I worked in a call center as a telemarketer.
Oh yeah.
That was until I got fired. That was my best job.
For how long?
Well, my first job was Taco Bell. I went from Taco Bell to the call center.
Yeah.
And so I think I've probably worked in a call center for about 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I was a terrible employee.
Yeah.
I was a terrible employee.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the guy that you want to fire because you're like, this guy, he's playing with us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. But that's the whole point. If you don't recognize your own value, right?
How's someone else gonna?
Well, and nobody else will if you want to really test the limits of how much potential you have to serve, how much potential you have to really grow and go through those personal developments and just throw it all away, like just go boom. I'm going to go into real estate, and I've never had you ever read a real estate book? Had you listened to a podcast? You were on a real estate show.
He was the EMT on a real estate show, and just saw he would come into the office. I remember we were at the first Keegley office. He'd come and he'd be like, "Whoa, dude, this is crazy. All these guys are just flipping contracts." Yeah, and then because like the majority of his job, he's just kind of sitting, waiting for things to happen, right? Mm-hmm. So when you're in the middle of a scene, like Slater doesn't have a lot to do then, so he was just kind of perusing around the office, and what are you going to do but listen to what people are saying? Yeah. And you're like, whoa, I would probably do that. That sounds like this guy's not speaking calculus on the phone. He's just saying words. And then, all of a sudden you're like, well, I can say words, right? So can I do this? And he straight up asked me one day, he was just like, hey, what do you think if I did this? And I'm like, you want my honest opinion? Yeah. It's like, you really should. Yeah. Because what are you making right now? And he told me what it was. I'm like, bro, like, you're a great dude. And his wife is incredible. Mm-hmm. Like they're a wonderful couple. I was at their wedding. I mean, like, they're great people. And I just got to see like I honestly think that we all deserve more, right? None of us are going to get treated by our bosses the value and like how like important and really powerful we are as human beings. Like none of us are going to get that respect from our bosses. We're not. And we're only going to get that respect from the world when we give that respect to ourselves. And you made that decision to respect yourself that day. You made the decision to say, yeah, I deserve more. My family deserves more. My pregnant wife deserves more. My family deserves more. And when you made that decision, look, you blessed the whole thing because your brother gets it now. His family is going to have a whole other trajectory. You think that he's going to give birth to children that are going to have an employee mindset? Not likely. Your young kids, they're going to see from mom and dad. Look at how mom and dad respect themselves. That's the energy I want to go out into the world with. Right. So you pass that along. And that's, I mean, what college is going to teach you that?
Right.
College teaches you how to be the employee.
Yeah, but I just feel like there's so many opportunities, so many options, so many different businesses that you could have gone into, whether it would have been a home services business or training EMTs or doing something else, but you decided on this business specifically, right? Well, come here. And that's what I wanted to get. There was one reason. Okay.
One reason and one reason only. And Jamil might be sick of this story, but I've told it a million times, but it's 100% true. But one of my first days on the job on set at the show, meeting Jamil, obviously known, he's a very wealthy guy. And my first day meeting him, and we're at a house doing demo, and the neighbor comes out with her granddaughter. The grandma doesn't speak any English. The granddaughter asked me, "Hey, my grandma wants to know what you guys are doing with the washer and dryer in there." Jamil, without a second hesitation, looks at the grandma. "Oh, you guys want the washer and dryer? We'll have that hooked up in 10 minutes. And that told me right then and there, I never knew that you could be a millionaire and also be a good person at the same time. And right there, it showed me that you can do both. You can have both. You can be a good person and you can be wealthy. And right then and there, I made the decision. That's what I want to be. I want to be like that.
Whoa, dude. That I forgot about that. I remember it clearly because that cute little girl came over and did that. And it was like, yeah, of course, you can have it. But what's interesting is the limit that was in his mind. The story he told himself in his mind is that rich people are bad people. Right? Jerry, did you ever have a story in your mind about, you didn't grow up super wealthy. You guys worked your butts off. Every Norton I know is a worker. So what was your guys' mentality that got passed from mom and dad to you that made you guys so successful?
Well, me and my brothers, we grew up in rural Michigan on a farm, old farmhouse. We had to chop firewood to heat the house and took care of animals and the whole thing. My dad bounced around at different jobs and things. The work ethic was never the issue. I just had the wrong blueprint, Like once I learned wholesaling, I immediately took off with it because I was like, wait, you just hustle around? I already know how to do that, so I just was missing the playbook. And so for me anyway, it was just, once I found the right playbook, it was game over because I was taught how to work hard. I just didn't associate hard work with money. There was a massive disconnect there for me.
So for you, it was work hard, and maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get it.
What I had the association I had to make with money, the self-limiting belief I had was that you had to work hard for money. So if you grew up with a work hard mentality, which that's really good, but if you associate that with money, you have a real problem, because if money's hard to earn, or you have to work hard for money, then it's always going to come to you hard, right? So one of the thoughts I had to really, really work on for years in the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey was money flows easy, money flows naturally. The less I work, the more I earn. Even when I say that now, the less I work, the more I earn, there's something in the back of my mind that says, that ain't right, bro. That's messed up. That ain't true. You got to work hard to make money. And so I've spent a lot of time reprogramming my financial thermostat to have a belief that money flows naturally, easily into my life. The less I do, the more I earn. And by thinking that way, now it's about systems, it's about people, it's about processes, right? And the more I can build that and implement that, the more money flows into my life. And I think a lot of people have that disconnect there between working hard and money.
Yeah. And building and buying assets, Jerry, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the other side. I mean, you can put together the systems and the processes and the business, and that's an asset. But then you take the money and you start buying other assets. You buy properties that you can rent out.
Did you pay taxes this year?
Me?
Yeah. Okay. So what did you pay last year? Okay. What will you pay now?
Two franchises this year, so we don't know.
Okay.
I think anywhere between 10 for both.
Okay. Yeah. So when you're in, like, again, I'm really putting you got to start acquiring assets, because that 10 grand, just to give it to you plainly, you could have taken that $10,000 and bought something with it and had a cash flowing asset. Now I know 10 grand is not a lot, right? But you maybe could have added a little bit. So that's 10,000 burnt money. But if you added another $20,000 of your own capital into that, now you have a real cash flowing asset, and you don't pay the taxes. You don't have to pay taxes. You're incentivized because of depreciation. So the next thing a wholesaler needs to do is go from, hey, I'm going to trade my time, I'm going to trade these contracts for some cash. Now you got to figure out how to take it to the next step and start buying assets and start getting to a place where, we're in, Jerry Norton's category, or we own thousands of doors like Morby,
Well, and it's one of those things, Jerry, like you were saying, you work less, but you make more, and it feels awkward, right? It feels awkward because it's coming from your assets. It's not, your time is not tied to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens when you build a business and you buy and become an investor, is your time's not tied to your income.
Correct.
And that was really the thing that stuck out to me. You read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then you go, okay, how do I make money though? Like, I don't have enough income to buy assets, right? And I want to make sure that I'm in a place where I know what to do with these assets, because like you and me, we invest in things we don't know, and it screws us up
every time,
right?
Every time.
So it's like, okay, well, what is an asset that makes sense? Well, you could do the stock market. I get it. You're investing in America. You're investing in companies. You got to do all of that. That's great. But it kind of has a ceiling as to how many. That's kind of like protection. I see. You know what I mean? It's kind of like wealth protection. I want to get like these big explosive things. You have to have a business.
Yeah.
That's the only way you do it.
Yeah.
Go look at the Forbes top people on the Forbes. It's all business owners.
Yeah. Business
it's all
and real
people
estate
that started. And then really, there's not a lot in real estate. I mean, it's like 70 out of the top 400 is real estate. The rest of it is business.
Yeah.
And so when we look at wholesaling, you have to understand it's not real. We're not in the real estate business when you're wholesaling. We're in the sales business. That's what that's what we truly are. If you really look at it, it's not even like marketing. If you're using some of the strategies that you're talking about and Jerry's talking about, going with properties that are on the market, building relationships, getting those referrals, doing that type of thing. It is marketing channels, but it's not like traditional marketing where you spend money and then people call you. Right. And so we have to get really, really, really good in 2025, increasing our sales skills. And when I say sales, it is not this slick, know how to manipulate and really trick people into these type of things. You open your mouth, you ask really good questions, and then you shut up.
Yeah.
And you do that over and over and over, and you understand people have different personality types. People have different communication styles. They have different timelines. They have different issues going on that they don't want to tell a stranger about. It is the skills that you build of really understanding, whether it's an agent, whether it's direct to the owner, what is going on that is causing them to want to sell this property right now. You build those sales skills so that you can replace yourself, so that you have a cash machine that you could go buy assets.
Amen.
That is the path. That's why real estate is incredible. It's not about, well, I don't want to be a wholesaler my whole life. I want to do this and this. Great. That's your choice. But build the skills first. Build the skills first so that you can build the business and then buy assets. I think
Brent, what you're saying right now is so important. I think a lot of people get this really out of order. I did in the beginning. I thought more about assets than I did about my cash machine, my printing press, I call it. Right. And that's where a lot of people get screwed up. Create a tax liability first and then worry about assets to grow the wealth and protect the cash that you're making, keeping it from going out the back door. But a lot of people get that all screwed up. So guys, if you're not creating a cash producing machine which is a wholesale business, get that dialed in. This is the year to do it. To me, I mean, everyone's got their own number, but when people ask me, I say, if you're not kicking out $100,000 a month in your wholesale business, if it's not $1 million a year business, you have you're probably not ready to go accumulate assets. Get that cash machine, that printing press dialed in. Now you got a tax liability. Now don't increase your standard of living equal to your income now, right? Keep that low, grow that incrementally. You know, I'm all about having a good standard of living, but grow that incrementally. You're going to create excess cash, reinvest that cash, wipe out your tax liability. That's the way the wealthy do it. They create the cash producing businesses, reinvesting that into assets that produce cash flow and save on taxes. That's the way. Yep. But don't get those fundamentals out of order.
What other business? You know what I mean? Like when you look at these other things that are very interesting and very exciting out there that people could start and get going really quickly, whether it be the drop shipping stuff or doing Forex or doing these other affiliate things or doing all those things. Is it long lasting? Is it long lasting? I know the guys that were crushing it on Amazon 10 years ago that saw the writing on the wall, got completely out of it. How about the people, Jerry, that have YouTube channels, and then Google just changes the monetization, and they were going from making $500,000 to $50,000, just like that. Yeah. So if you're looking at, okay, how do I build a long-lasting business that can be wildly profitable, right? And is exciting, and I get to help people in neighborhoods and literally like see the landscape of the areas that you're working in change, because we're going out there and we're taking that property and giving it to an investor that knows what they want to do with it. They're going to put their money and their risk in there. We get to see that. This is the best business. That's why we said this is the best business.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just saying that it's the only business I know that if I just saw a reel the other day on Instagram that made me tear up a little bit. There was a man, his daughter has she's in the hospital. She got a crazy medical situation going on, and insurance cut her off. And so they're like, we can't make this. We're not going to pay the bill anymore. And she had a whole bunch due, and they were going to kick her out. And so they needed money like that day. Mm-hmm. They needed money right away. Right. So, you ask a lot of people. I've done this before. I've gone into the mall and I've gone out to the Venice Boardwalk and I've asked people, hey, if you had to make 10 grand in a week, what would you do? Mm-hmm. And I'd say 90% of the answers I get are criminal things. Go watch the YouTube videos I put out. 90% of what people say to me are criminal, right? They're like, I'm going to rob a bank. I'm going to do this. I'm going to smash and grab. I'm going to, credit card fraud. It was just, nobody had anything constructive to say, right? It was all criminal stuff.
Yeah.
But really, if you needed money, I remember when I needed $6,000 to cover my wife's prescription. When I needed $6,000, I was able to get my hands on $6,000 in under a week because of wholesaling, because of the way I structured that deal. And how I, traded my $10,000 assignment for $6,000 in cash right now. I mean, all of that was possible because I had the skills of being able to wholesale.
Yeah.
I didn't have to rob a bank.
Right.
I didn't have to do anything that's going to, and now that man is doing by the way, this guy robbed a bank, mm-hmm. and he's doing 25 years. 25 years. The judge threw the book at him. Mm-hmm. And the judge even said, I've got all these papers in my hands right now from people who know you that says you're a nice guy. You're not a nice guy. You're a bank robber, is what he said to him. And he threw the book at the guy, gave him 25 years. And how many parents out there can understand that? I'm a parent. I look at my kid, and if I didn't have the skill that I had right now, when I was looking at Natalie, like literally almost passing away at the time when that was happening, mm-hmm. There's a piece of me. There is a version of Jamil who would have robbed a bank too. That man lives in here. Because I'm not going to let my family suffer. I'll do whatever I have to do to make sure my family is okay. Right? So I can understand where that guy's coming from. But we have this beautiful business opportunity in front of us that, just like Brent said, I've looked at people in Forex, broke. The business changes. stocks, the business changes. Drop shipping, the business changes. Everything, it's like there's always this thing. There's always another shoe that drops, and these guys have to reinvent themselves. Again, I don't even know what Rafael Vargas does anymore these days, because like that guy has changed careers so many times that it's hard to even describe like what he's doing now. At one point, he was a drop shipper. At another point, he was doing Forex. Another time, he was doing wholesale. Another time. But like this business, when you sit down and actually do it, when you're real and you actually do this game, if I need to make money tomorrow, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm getting on the phone. I'm looking at deals. I'm contracting something, and I'm going for an assignment.
Yeah.
That's it. Done. Deal. Done. Deal. Done. Deal.
Do you think that buying or building a business out, wholesale, all that, you build that, you use that as a cash machine. Do you think it's better to invest in growing other businesses or buying real estate?
Okay. Personally,
Yeah. And Jerry, for you too.
I'm buying real estate.
Okay.
Because I can produce on a low on my co-living homes 25 to 28%. That's on a low ROI.
Yeah.
On a high ROI, if I get the deal right and it all goes well in the construction, I'm pulling out all of my money plus some. So I'm getting infinite returns at best. I'm getting 28, 30% on the low. I don't know any business model out there that I can go and I can't buy a Chick-fil-A and get 30%. I'd even have to work in the Chick-fil-A and I'm barely going to scratch out 30%.
Yeah.
So like what gives you 30% ROI at all out there, right? So my co-living homes are outperforming everything. So no, I wouldn't invest in the business because I don't even think I could buy a strip club that would make that much money.
Jerry?
Yeah, I would say for me, I really like software. So I my own software. So I build and invest in creating software. I really like lending. Now that's real estate only. So that's related to real estate, but lending. And I like transacting. So I will always wholesale. I will always flip because I like transacting. And so those are my income producing models that I really do well with and like to do. Coaching maybe in there a little bit or whatever. But as far as like building real wealth, long-term wealth, and not paying taxes, real estate. I mean, all the money that is produced through anything I do, I don't put it anywhere else other than in real estate, mostly because it's something I understand, because on all the other things I'm doing, like transacting, you learn real estate really well. I mean, one of the greatest assets I've acquired through wholesale real estate is how to find and recognize a deal. You're halfway there. If you can find and recognize a deal, you're halfway there, and contract, like structure. The other half would be get the capital to then own that deal, whether it's creatively or through some sort of financing to own and control that asset. Now you're the rest of the way there. Find deals, fund deals, and there's nothing that will stop you from becoming a multimillionaire in real estate.
Yeah. Coaching is another no cap business model. What do you think?
You mean in terms of like there's no cap in it?
Yeah.
Like you can make an infinite amount of money?
I mean, there's universities that have been around forever, right?
Yeah, I think coaching, it has its interesting times, right? Yep. Like I'll be the first one to be very transparent. I've had in coaching business, I've had years where it's been insanely good, and there's also times where it's not.
Yeah,
where you're doing it for free, and I've done it for free.
Yeah,
straight up. There's been entire years where it didn't cash flow to coach. I was showing up and doing it because I love doing it, because I love seeing the transformation. I love seeing the help in people's world. It also gives me access to deal flow, and it keeps me in the game. It keeps me doing the things. And so there's ancillary benefits, but I'll straight up say it, Lucas, it's not always what you might think it is. It's not, because there's up years, there's down years, and you can't count on a coaching business to feed the family.
Right.
Like there's no way you can count on a coaching business to feed the family. I've had years, again, lots of time when Astro first came out, it was crazy. You're the new fresh thing. You're the new face. Da-da-dee-dee-da. Everybody likes the genie. And then it kind of just levels out. And once you've got people on your payroll and things to deal with, it's maybe not going to be as profitable as it once was, and maybe not profitable at all.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't rely on coaching as a business. Not saying it so you don't become a coach. That's not why I'm saying it at all. Come be a coach, do the thing. But real estate, trading in real estate, wholesaling, it's always been there. It is my fail safe. It's, my ex is now doing it and she's killing it. She just got another deal on the west side, Maryville house for $220,000. Bro.
How'd you get it? Agents?
Yeah.
Listed or what?
Agents.
Calling agents.
Yeah. 4-bed, 2-bath, 1444 square feet.
Come
Picked
on.
it up for $220,000. Yeah.
I'm wholesale it?
I'm going to wholesale it on January 9th. I'm doing a new live where I'm going to dispo it live again.
it.
And so my goal is to dispo that thing at 260.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
so I'm going to try to make my ex-wife $40,000 in, I don't know, half an hour on January 9th, which, by the way, if you haven't signed up for it, come check it out. It's going to be fun.
gonna be awesome.
January 9th. Yeah. I'll put a link in the chat.
That's awesome.
Jerry?
I would agree with.
Software changes,
I like-
software
I
comes,
like-
software goes.
Yeah, I mean, anything you do is going to be challenging, be hard, and up and down. But I like businesses that are scalable. A coaching business, to me, I'm with Jamil. I like all the ancillary benefits of it. Like, I get a lot of deals from it. I get a lot of personal satisfaction from it. It helps my other real estate stuff do really well. It funnels into software and things. But in and of itself, standalone coaching, heck no. That is the most challenging business. It is the most time consuming. It's a never ending monster to create content. And it's very difficult. And it's not a business that I feel like is where you can, for me, it's not in my long-term sustainable business models because of just all that goes into doing that well and successfully. People have high expectations, and it's got a lot to it to do that well. Right. And I've been doing it a long time. I started coaching in 2009. So it's been a long time that I've been doing that. But yeah, I like the things that you can really repeat well, and you can set up a process. What I like about software is you could have 1,000 users or 100,000 users. And if the software is structured right, it can support that. So there's infinite scale to software, which is one of the reasons why it's so appealing to me.
Yeah, guys, Jamil just put in the event link there. Make sure that you guys get in there.
Yeah,
Did they
pinned it to the
register?
top of my chat. Yeah, so if you hop over to my chat on my page, you could see it. Just come register. It's going to be wild because, like, so the last time I did this, Jerry, I made $60K in 10 minutes.
I know.
Like
It's
real
crazy.
money, guys. Like I see a lot of people on YouTube, on podcasts, all these things, and even some contests that we've been a part of, where it's like, you get this deal locked up, or you're working these really seller financing or owner of the or creative financing deals, and they're not deals, they're not real. There's no money that's actually coming in.
Right.
This is real income that comes in, cash in the bank. Guys, you have to understand, nobody's done this more than Jamil. Like, personally, nobody. Like, there's some other companies that rival your guys's volume and over the time, but not one dude.
Yeah. No. That
was in it for as long as you have been. Like, that's a really, really cool event to go to, guys. If you guys are struggling, not even struggling, if you guys want to upgrade your dispo process, this is the master. You have to get on and check that out, because he's going to blow your face off, and he's going to upgrade you, which is my word of the year.
Love that. That's a great thing. Upgrade. Yeah. Come get upgraded. Let's do a reinstall of your operating system, your dispo operating system, and we'll figure it out. But the fun thing is, I prove it, because I'm going to show you the settlement statement. I'm not going to give you even the first time I did it, I'm like, here, guys, here's the property. Here's the HUD. You see who owns it. Here's what I paid. You guys know what this is. Okay. And then I asked the chat, where should I sell it? The chat gave me my number. And then I went and sold it based on the chat's number, right? This time, because it's not my deal, it's my ex-wife's deal. And she's like, I want 260. So I have to get her 260.
You should get that.
Whose side are you on here, bro?
I'm just saying. I mean, you're like, hey, All right. 40's nice, but 50? She got it for 220?
She got it for 220.
I mean,
Killed it.
50 is a massive deal. That's
Yeah,
that's
is.
the threshold of a
It-
massive. Should he get a 50K deal, guys? Do you think he can do it?
Holy moly.
I think he can do it.
All right.
Jamil, where'd you,
Got it.
270.
where'd you say it was? Jamil, where was it? Where's that deal at?
Oh, West Phoenix, Maryville.
Oh, West Phoenix. Okay.
Yeah, I
All
could
day.
get 270 for
All
it.
day. You're
260
sandbagging.
269.9.
You were so sandbagging. It's gross. You were so sandbagging.
Oh, you think I'm making it easy for myself?
Yes.
I love it. Called me right out on
He's
it.
gonna
too.
sell this thing for 315 and be like, oh,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
That's great.
You made 60K last time.
Yeah, it was so good.
Awesome.
So good.
Awesome. Any themes for the year, Jerry? We'll take
Theme?
it back. Yeah.
Oh,
Any themes? Any thoughts? Any?
I think 2024 was a tough year for real estate. I mean, in all areas, like in the education coaching side, the amount of people searching how to get into real estate was like way down in 24. The heyday COVID years are long gone. And I think I've always been a fundamentals guy. Even during that boom, I really tried to stick to the fundamentals just because I've been in it long enough to know that, it goes up and down. And if you're not careful, you'll get caught when it comes back down. So I didn't completely do that, but I tried to just stick to my guns about the fundamentals. And I think 2025 is a fundamentals year, meaning guys, like you're going to have to do all the right things. You're going to have to learn the skills. You're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to build the list and make the relationships. This isn't something where you can just put a half-ass effort in, get some deal overpriced, and then 6 months later make money on it. We're not in those days anymore. Those days I don't think 2025 is going to be that year. So if you're laying the groundwork and you're doing the thing right and you're building the business the right way and you're following sound principles in real estate that all three of us in PACE teach, then this can be an amazing year for you. But you've got to stick to the fundamentals.
I love that. So stick to the fundamentals. That's the theme for Mr. Norton. How about you? What's your theme for the year? It's upgrading. What is it?
Upgrade. Yeah, upgrade your skills, upgrade your posture in the way that you feel about yourself, upgrade the way that you dress, upgrade the way that you the people that you hang around with.
Ooh,
get rid of the people that don't make you feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's
so let's list them out,
Yeah.
right? Because I think Brent's nailing it right now. He's upgrading how he feels about himself.
Yes.
Right. And what are the
Always.
things you're going to do to help yourself do that?
Surrounding myself with incredible people.
Okay.
Right. I'm going through a period now, and maybe you guys have as well, where some of my best friends' parents are dying.
Mhm.
Right. And when you get to that, you're like, holy cow, like they're just a generation ahead of us.
Right.
Right. And so who do I want to really spend my time with? Who really makes me feel good? Who are the people that I've kind of kept around and it's been kind of like, okay, that's fine, but they just don't, they're just not, they're not upgrading me. They're not uplifting me.
Mhm.
They're not putting the wind behind my sails.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they do, but it's kind of,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think but also working on yourself. You're looking at, I'm going back and getting back into the books and reading more and getting back into Marcus Aurelius and
I
just
love him.
virtue, right?
Love him,
Virtue over popularity, virtue over, this like cockiness, virtue over everything else in a sense. And so I think that there's something to that. I think that there's something to just saying, okay, how do I not go into as much of the pleasures in life and just be more thoughtful and be more knowledgeable and get better at everything that I do. So I think that's the main seed that this all grows from.
That's wonderful.
And when that happens, everything goes up.
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also upgrading income, upgrading the business, upgrading my business skills, upgrading all those things. Right. Yeah. And I feel like there's just certain years, right? I feel like income's very streaky.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's streaky for a reason. It's like almost like the universe's way or God's way or however you want to look at it, of saying, hey, like, it's not you. You know what I mean? I mean, it is, but like, you can't just pull back your service and your learning.
Everything is a
right?
wave.
Yeah.
If you look at everything in our universe, it's a wave. It's all waves, which means you're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. There's periods of expansion, periods of contraction. And it's why we suffer is because when things are contracting, we're like, no, stop. Why? When it's like, okay, cool. This is where we're in a contraction. It's like I'm supposed to learn here. I'm supposed to grow here. I'm supposed to crack open a new version of myself. This is a time to get into the chrysalis and really metamorphosize myself. Right. My theme for the year, is absolutely that transformation.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like for the last 2 years, 23 was a tough year. 24 was also like very formative year for myself. I won't call it hard. It was emotionally draining in times. And, thanks to the community and you and so many people that were with me and had my back when I was kind of going through the personal things with, in my family. I'm really seeing how all of that was for the best. And I'm positioned right now where I've got every tool. Like I feel like I've been placed on the battlefield with the most incredible army, with the most incredible tools, and with the enthusiasm that Brent talked about earlier in tonight's podcast. That enthusiasm, that support, those tools have equipped me to be on the front lines of this battlefield, and I'm not leaving until I take the next flag.
Yep.
I'm not leaving the field till I take the next flag, and I'm doing it. Like I'm going after it. And so let's see.
Yeah.
Let's
Enthusiasm. In Theo, that's Latin for the inner light coming out. That's what it is. You know what I mean? And I think we need to raise our level of enthusiasm to a minimum of an 8 every day. Best way to do that is fall in love with this. Fall in love with it. Fall in love with the vision that you have. If the vision's like, oh, I don't want to trade time for money. I want to spend time with the right people. I want to do these things. It starts with like having a conversation with a property owner or somebody that represents a property owner, right? And doing that over and over and over and getting all those fears and just destroying them through action, right? Skills build mindset. We say it all the time on here. Skills build. You want to have a strong mindset, build skills. You know what I mean? Like Steph Curry isn't worried about shooting free throws. You know what I mean? Like that's skills. I'm sure at some point in his life he was. Let's get to some questions. How about that? All right. You want to go?
Yeah. What? Cleophas?
Cleophas
Clancy.
yeah.
What a cool name. Cleophas Clancy Jr. Asked, how would you suggest scaling your business off of your first deal? Just closed my first one at 19. Cleophas, I would not suggest to scale your business off of your first deal. I would say push button, repeat. Push button, repeat. Keep pushing the button and repeating. This is not this. You're going to make the biggest mistake that first timers make when they get their first deal. They decide, oh, that was cool. How do I get out of this now? I moonwalk my butt out of here and try to hire somebody to do what I just did. It's not going to work. Go do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Master it. Master what you did the first time. And if you're like, well, I don't really know what I did the first time, or like pieces of it aren't really clear to me, great. That's what you got to get clear on. You got to get so good at this, just like he said, Curry's not worried about shooting free throws. Why? Because he can do that stuff in his sleep. I'm not worried about wholesaling. Why? Because I can do it in my sleep. Jerry, same thing. Brent, same thing. So because you're 19, because it was your first deal, because it was already done, go retrace your steps and walk them again. And I would continue doing that for the entire year, brother. I wouldn't even worry about it. Right now, we're going into a bull season. We're going into a bull run here in real estate. And so it would be the best time to be a wholesaler. I think 2025 is going to be one of those years where we're like, anybody could have made money in wholesale in 25. And I think that's going to be what happens here. I think anybody is going to be able to make money in 25. So don't scale, bro. Go push the button, push button, repeat, push button, repeat, push button, repeat.
I would add to that, Jamil. You're 19. One of the big mistakes that you're going to be tempted to make is to mismanage that money you just made. if you're sleeping on your mom's couch at home right now, keep sleeping on your mom's couch at home right now. Don't go spend that money, right? Pretend like it's not there. Just pretend like you never made it and get back on the phones right now. And like Jamil said, repeat what you just did and keep repeating that and be very careful, because if your goal is to build the business, which it sounds like it is, then don't blow that money. Be very careful about how you go about this. And if
First
you're smart with
mistake I
that,
see them make when they get that check, Jerry, is they go hire VAs.
That's it. I was just going to say it. It
And
all
they
goes
stop-
back
yeah,
to the
it-
industry. It
yeah.
all goes back to the industry. One, when you get big checks, you got to really, really watch your financial thermostat, which was established between 0 and 12. So if you grew up really wealthy and you talked about money all the time and money was an open subject and you knew what, you had to do to be able to go out and earn a big income, and your family has, your financial thermostat's going to be set high. For everybody else, for all the rest of us, the financial thermostat crushes young entrepreneurs. Crushed me horribly. And I know Jamil was joking when he said, like, it's the whitest thing ever that I've said, that I didn't have a job. I would just flip stuff. And do stuff like that. And I had a trainer that I worked with, and he was like, hey, I'll pay you if you just take some people out. So it was a job, but it wasn't a job. It was just like I was playing the whole time. So that instilled in me that, okay, if I can just find something that I enjoy, it doesn't feel too bad. Right. But I also had big ambitions on what I wanted to make. But as soon as I got a big check, boom, gone. Boom, big office. Boom, big, I'm buying laptops. I'm buying desks. I'm buying the coolest chair to sit in. I'm going and buying an antique desk to sit behind. You know what I mean? I'm buying, I got longhorns. For no reason to put up and a cowboy hat.
Wow.
For no reason. I'm like 25 years old. I've never ridden a horse in my life, let alone lassoed a cow, and just doing these stupid things that stupid young people do because of your financial thermostat, because you're just like, I don't deserve it. I don't know what to do with this. So you go bananas. Don't do that. Just don't.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I interviewed on my YouTube channel one of my students, and we were breaking down like a deal he did. And he went on appointment and he met the seller and he walked out of there with the contract. So I said to him, okay, what'd you do next? And I was thinking like opened escrow or, called some buyers or whatever. He said, well, as soon as I got home, I got back on the phone and started calling again. That's the mindset we're talking about here, right? Like for you, Cleophas, you did that first deal. Do not coast now. Oh, I got 10 grand in my bank account. Everything's good. Yeah. Now I'm going to spend some money. I'm going to do whatever. No, pretend like you don't have it. Get back on the phones. Keep doing those fundamentals. That's how you grow this business the fastest.
Yep. Invest in your skills, not in things that'll stop you from growing, which is what we try to do. We try to do the shortcut. We try to have the silver bullet. We try to buy the system that's going to get us opportunities. We need to
now when it is time, when it is appropriate, I think about three things. I think about marketing, I think about tools, and I think about coaching are the three things that I think about when it comes to, okay, I'm ready to reinvest into my business. How do I reinvest into my business? Because the right tools can really speed things up. It can eliminate a lot of manual things. Right. Coaching is going to help you get out of your own way.
Be more specific, Jerry. What marketing would you suggest? Just did your first deal. Cause that's the trap. Cause marketing can be where all the money gets sucked away. So
easily. Yeah.
So where would you put Cleophas?
It's number one. Number one.
Well, I'm a big believer in no cost strategies for a while, learn how to do those well, then low cost strategies. And then when you're ready, into the high cost strategies, right? So I think about it that way. There's free methods, there's low cost methods, there's expensive methods. Everyone would love to just skip it all and jump right into the expensive methods, but that's the problem here. You'll blow your budget before you're ready. Because if you're not really good at closing, you don't want to be spending all the big dollars like Brent does on PPC if you don't have a really good process to close out those expensive leads. You know what I mean?
There's more bones in the wholesaler graveyard of people who got their first deal than there are people who quit before their first deal.
Definitely.
And think about that.
I think marketing is number one, where most of the money goes. Number two, Number 2 is you close a deal, you start talking to your buddy wants to do it now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now you go 50-50 partners.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Right?
Partners. Yeah.
Partners will absolutely
Yeah.
crush you, right? As opposed to
And
just
by the way,
doing it. Not you two. You
and
guys
Brent,
are
what
later.
happens with these young guys
You had
is
one that crushed you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you had one that embezzled. Yeah.
what I see with these young
that
guys.
Happens. Sorry.
Sorry, Jerry. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I was going to say is what I see with these young guys is there's so much about this do it together culture, like young people today, they got to do everything with their buddies and stuff. So then what they do is they bring in their buddies and they partner with their buddies. And then what happens is when you partner with your buddy, it becomes 1 + 1 = 1 because now both of you are doing the same thing. Both of you are both of you are on acquisition. Both of you are on disposition. Both of you are going together on the appointment and you're hanging out together. But all you did was now made the same money you were making and split it between the two of you. That's the fastest way to cut your revenue in half.
Yep.
A partnership should be 1 + 1 = 10.
Yep.
Meaning the synergy between the two of you exponentially can grow your business. If 1 + 1 = 1 or 1 + 1 = 2, it's not worth the partnership. Right. So I see that mistake often, Brent, with young people, especially.
Well, it's let me you get on, you make some call, you get a list, you get on the phone, you talk to a bunch of people, you're learning stuff every conversation. Why did they say that? What should I have said here? All right, I'm going to look that up. I'm going to find out what to say. Okay, building skills. Oh my gosh, I got a deal. Yes. Oh yes, I did it. I sold the deal. Oh, Jamil, help me sell it. I'm making $12,500. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. Oh, I better take this money and just go pay for a VA to do all the calls from here on out.
Man,
Is that not 98% of this
Bro.
business?
and it can get even worse, right? Like, she's not gonna get. But I have so many examples like this. But like Idea from the Astro community, I love her to death. She's such an incredible woman.
Yeah.
This poor woman goes out and makes $60,000 in her first month,
Mm-hmm.
crushes it,
Yeah.
just like smashes it out right out of the gate, and then did all the things.
Mm-hmm.
She did all the things,
Mm-hmm.
and it all left. And she's just having the hardest time right now catching her footing again, right? Because it's so depressing.
Yeah.
Like they're never. I don't think there'd ever been $60K in her bank account.
Mhm.
And then
Oh,
when
yeah.
she had $60K in her bank account, it was like her
Breaks your
bank.
brain.
Yeah, it was like she was allergic to having it. It's like, and had to figure out how to get rid of it as quickly as possible. And believe me, there's going to be a lot of people ready to take it from you.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot of, they get attracted to people who are in that energy, attract the vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're literally just like walking around outside with blood on your neck,
Mm-hmm.
right? When that's your energy. And so the vampires are just going to find you. They're going to come. They're going to take your stuff, right? So it's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, Brent, hanging around the wrong people will detract the right people from coming into your life. Like the worst thing you could do is hang around the wrong people. It will repel the right people from you.
Well, one of the biggest lies that I hear is, and myths is, why would you make these calls yourself? You're better than that. You're just starting out. You should be just getting leads and closing leads. That's what you should be focused on.
Yeah.
You should be focused on just closing these leads, baby. You don't need to do the hard work. Why would you do that? That's beneath you.
Yeah.
You're American. There's all these other countries. They'll do this work for you, baby. And they'll just load you up and you're going to be a millionaire. Oh, you're going to be a millionaire. No doubt about it. Now just sign this contract
Mm-hmm.
for a 6-month service for our call center to make these calls for you. All right.
Whoa, dude. That was good.
Is that not it?
That's the pitch.
That's the pitch.
That was an infomercial right there.
That's the pitch.
I'm like,
You want to do it.
I wanted to take my cash out, my credit
I
card.
was kind of like, where do I sign, Brent?
But guys, do the hard work. I mean, at the very minimum, have 1,000 conversations. Talk to 1,000 people before you hire anybody.
Great.
That's it. Like, I'll just put it out there. And by the way, guys, do it all. do whatever. This is just coming. This is our
Yeah,
advice.
lose all your money.
Do whatever you want to do out there, and maybe it'll work out. I don't know. And you could come back and tell us that we're wrong. But I think most people understand what we're talking about right now. So next question, Joe. If there are 3 people who are teaming up to tackle 900 notice of defaults in Los Angeles County, how would it be best to split up the team to close deals? What structure would you apply?
Okay, so it's 3 people on a team. You got 900 leads, right? Well, I imagine with 900 notice of default, you're very likely not door knocking these guys. You're going to be calling these guys. And so if you are door knocking these notice of defaults, what would you do? You'd call the NODs, right? You wouldn't be
No,
knocking.
you knock them.
You would be knocking on those.
Oh, you have to.
Even at an NOD,
total waste of time to call them.
Okay, so we're talking door knocking 900 addresses.
Yeah.
So you're going to split those suckers up.
Yeah.
Right. And you're going to figure out how many can you typically get done in a day. From what I've heard, I don't door knock, by the way, guys. So it's not my cup of tea. But I think the most houses you're going to be able to hit in a day is 10. What would you say?
Mr. Castaneda, just knock them yourself.
Yeah. Why do this whole, like, is it because you need 2 other people? You're scared to knock on the doors? Like, what's the reason for grouping yourself up? Why not just get that list and just go ham?
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to have 900, then you could split it up, but I would want as many opportunities as I could. Yeah, for sure.
Maybe Joe's coming from the, it's better together. It's more fun when you have a crew. Yeah. So do it as a group, but why do it as a team? Like, why say we're going to pool all we're going to pool all the deals and do all this? Because there's going to be one of you are going to be a breakout star.
Be accountability partners.
Yeah. Be accountability partners. But why commingle funds? Why do all that? So some of you are going to be better fit at this than others. And what's going to happen in a team of 3? I bet you one of you will do well and 2 of you are going to suck. That's my prediction. What would you think typically in that?
Oh yeah. 1 out of 100 will be good. Yeah. Jerry?
My guess is what you're doing is you're getting 3 young people to go knock these doors. They're going to get some interest. If the interest comes over to Joe and Joe closes the deal, then you pay a commission to those, the door knocker is probably one, or maybe there's a base pay or something. There's so many different ways you can structure something like this. You just got to sit back and think. I think the point, Brent and Jamil are making is, does this make sense? What are you doing? How do you structure this to where, it's going to work? And so sometimes we get all hyped up about something like this and you're just setting yourself up for a bunch of disappointment. I would slow it down, think about what makes sense, structure it correctly. You can give each one 300, go knock 300. Here's 300, 300, 300, go knock these doors. If anything comes of it, I'll pay you a commission. I don't know.
How do you feel about door knocking, by the way? Because I've never done it. I have door knocked before, but it's not how I've done my business and how I grew my business. Not knocking.
The reason
do well with it, but scalable. Like what are we talking about?
Yeah, the reason why you door knock pre-foreclosures is because there's the ostrich effect that happens, right? Where they put their head in the sand, they stop answering the phone, they stop answering mail. But pre-foreclosures are like the sexy lead that everybody goes after. If you have to know right now, if you're going to do a pre-foreclosure list, so is 1,000 other people. It's the number 1 list because it's just the most common one that people think of is, pre-foreclosure. Of course, they're motivated to sell. And so what happens is people door knock those because it's the most effective way to maybe find that owner home to have a conversation because they're probably not going to answer the phone or respond to direct mail very well. That's the idea behind door knocking pre-foreclosures. And there's some truth to that for sure.
Have you done it? Like, have you?
Rafael Cortez right now is
killing it,
printing money,
door knocking.
Yeah. So he has a crew doing it in Florida.
Can you unpack that for us a little bit? Because that's, I think, what Joe wants to know is like, how does somebody who kills it at it, how do they do it? Like what we should have him on here.
Yeah.
Rafael
is on most of my Wednesday live shows.
Yeah.
He'll pop in for like a half hour, and we talk about it on some level. But
let's bring him on.
basically,
Let's bring him on a hotline in one of these next weeks.
you know, you find people that are interested in real estate, interested in learning about real estate, and they've got some time in their schedule here and there that they can go to the door. You train them on how to you know, just approach the door and not be, you know, kind of like creepy or shady, and you know, not just stand like right at the door when somebody's trying to see who it is, type of thing, right? And it's simply just opening it up. There's no real magic to the script. It's really just being really nice and sweet and kind, right? And just seeing what's going on and asking them questions, and then from there, the leads go into his acquisitions team, and that's who really builds the relationship over the phone. So really, it's just kind of the overall. It's kind of it's very similar to you know, what I was talking about with cold callers. Yeah, you know, where people are out there. So I think they pay him a base of some sort. But I mean, Raphael's been doing this.
It's a base salary job.
Yeah, hourly
job.
Yeah, or door. Maybe it's by door. I'll find out.
And are they getting some kind of a commission or some kind of a bump if the deal closes?
Yeah.
And so that keeps them there because they're waiting, hopefully, to get a little bit more from a kicker on a deal that they door knocked.
Yeah.
And a lead they sent.
It's very similar to cold calling. They're just trying to warm the lead, get someone interested, get that over to the acquisition team.
I'm so curious as to how often he has to hire new door knockers and what that revolution looks like. Like, it's got to be a revolving door of people that coming in, going out, coming in, going out, coming in, going out. Does he have ads running all the time? Is he training every week? Like, is his now life, or is the life of his sales manager just hiring new door knockers day after day after day after day?
Let's have him on next week.
Yeah. If you guys are interested in hearing about that, you know, let us know.
Let us know in the chat.
Yeah.
If you guys want to know about that. Okay. Haven't made a call yet. What are some tips you have for me to get started? I am
good on the phone.
However, the comping process scares me.
I know someone that teaches comping.
Yeah. I wouldn't, I'll just quickly dispel a myth here. Don't worry about getting on the phone and not having comping figured out. Pace Morby doesn't have comping figured out. In fact, he texted me today in a group chat with Heidi, his girl, because Pace is like, he's gonna flip some houses this year. So he's like, hey, I'm putting my flip team back on. Jamil, should I buy this deal? Straight up. He said it before in real life, guys. I don't comp deals. When I want to make a decision on the house, I just ask Jamil. Today, he did that. Today, he got me in a group chat. He's like, should I buy this deal? And I said, no, at no more than this number. And luckily enough, one of the Astro people is chasing that deal, and he didn't know that. And I'm like, by the way, somebody in Astro right now is chasing that deal. It can probably get it. It's listed at like 6 something. I'm like, she's chasing right now and is very close to getting it at 4 something. So if that happens, let me connect the dots for you, and then you take it. And he was like, great. But like, so the reason I went on that tangent, Kay, is because he still doesn't want to comp a deal, and it doesn't have to, because he's got people in his life like me and others who will do it for him. And so the trick here, brother, is get over the fear of getting on the call and making the phone call. Because there's a whole community of people that would love to be able to help. You saw Slater here earlier on, handlebar mustache. That guy, if you called anybody in Colorado, anywhere in Colorado, and you just sent an address to Slater and said, how much should I offer on this? A little while later, he's going to give you a number. That's how we rock, right? And so you'll have the community behind you to help you with the numbers. You just got to have the courage to pick up the phone and make that first step.
I would add to this, Jamil. I think there's a huge misconception here in the beginning that you have to have the perfect value. You have to know the value precisely in order to pick up the phone and make a call and make an offer. And you don't. You definitely need to know the value to buy a property. Like, you got to have that figured out to buy a property. But you can take 40% of Zillow and make an offer. You know enough, Kay. You don't need a tip right now. You know enough to pick up the phone, start talking to sellers, start making offers. You know enough. Most of the game is getting somewhere down there low enough to where when you get that deal, someone's going to want it because you're at 40 to 50% of Zillow. That's good enough to have a conversation to get a deal. Give yourself some contingency. Then you can pull in someone that knows really well what they're doing. Like step 2 is to really make sure your number's right. Step 1 is to just put that offer in front of somebody who says they want to sell their house. That's step 1. Anybody can do step 1. Just pick up the phone, start talking to people. There you go. You'll do so many deals right now if you don't know how to comp. In fact, I think you'll do more deals if you don't know how to comp, because you won't let that bog you down anymore, and you'll just start talking to people and putting numbers in front of them without comping anything. You'd be surprised how many deals you'll get.
And force them to make more connections, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
he's going to have to talk to people if he wants some extra help as well. So, I mean, all of it's good.
I'm going to remove your comment real quick there, Kay, because there is a dark pink line across this screen that has a hashtag, and that hashtag says squad up. Squad up with people that are doing more than you. You bring them the opportunity and say, hey, let's split this, right? This is how you learn how to value properties. Now, obviously, you can go to Jamil's all of his live and comping straight out of comping,
yep. Which is coming back, by the way.
Awesome. And watch the replays of that and look at the process there. There's probably how many hours of you comping properties on the internet?
100?
Yeah.
More? Maybe 200 hours of me comping. There's a ton of it. Jerry, how is it doing this from a sauna, by the way?
That's what I asked.
Did you ask him that?
I'm gonna take my shirt off in a minute. I hope you guys don't mind.
I keep waiting for him to get sweatier.
I know.
What you don't know, Jamil,
the sauna turned on.
What you don't know, Jamil, is I'm naked from the waist down.
We always know that, Jerry. We know that. That's why you have 10 kids.
You're awesome, bro.
That's awesome. Jake, how would you recommend running my wholesale company with a 3-man show? We haven't fully decided whether we should have 1 dispo, 2 AC, or just all of us grind it out. What do you recommend to scale? Getting this a lot.
Yep. I mean, I think AC is definitely where you want to be putting resources at any time. There's so many opportunities and there's so many ways to dispo once you've got a machine going for acquisitions. And you can then bring dispo in-house after some time. That's a lot of people's journey, right? They get into the business, they go heavy AC to start. They work with a Keegley or they work with other JV wholesalers. They get a bunch of deals done. They JV their first, 10, 15 of them, and then they take dispo in-house, or they do like a blend, a little bit of dispo with others, and then some of them they do in-house. It's like kind of 50-50. I think that's the model, but I don't think starting like that is the game. I don't think you start off and say, hey, do dispo. We don't even have any contracts to sell yet, right? Everybody's got to get on the AC. I think everybody needs to get on the AC right out the gate. If you get out there and get good at finding opportunities, then you'll attract dispo. The buyers are there. They want the deals. You just got to get heavy into the AC. That's how I would start it out. I'd have everybody do an AC. What would you think?
Yeah, I think it's just an echo of the other ones. It's you learning sales, because this is a sales business. You staying in sales, which what we call acquisitions, and do that as long as possible, and hire people after you've got this done. You will listen, and I think that you can really I don't know, respect this, but if you have a really solid deal, the buyers are going to fight for that deal, right? Mm-hmm. So find a great deal. Now there is nuance to dispo. There is nuance to getting either the most out of the deal financially or the most out of it from a relationship standpoint, right? Because you are very you will make less on a deal to build a stronger relationship with bigger buyers, right? I have not, and it bites me in the ass here and there. Yep. But we make more per deal.
But you have a smaller operation, so you need to squeeze that lemon. You got to squeeze that orange.
Well, it costs me a lot more.
Yeah, and it makes sense why you do it the way you do it, right? Where I have to play it strategic.
My question to Jake is if you're a 3-man show and you don't even have your roles defined yet, why are you a 3-man show? It feels to me like 3 buddies are getting together and starting a wholesale business. I don't think that's a good way to go.
Yep.
Let's unpack that for a minute, right? Because there's so many people out there who are like, I want to do this with my buddy. I need to do this with my friend. I need to do this with someone, right? The dangers of that, because I really want to like enlighten you to, you are probably friends with people that are a lot like you, which is normal, right? Because we attract what we are in the world. And so your friends are probably a lot like you. And that may be a good thing, right? But what typically happens is you end up in a situation where everybody wants to do the same thing. And if everybody wants to do the same thing, you're going to have situations where you're stepping on each other's toes. And it's going to become a thing where you're like, well, I don't want to do this job. I want to do the job you're doing. Well, I don't want to do that other job. I want to do the job I'm doing. You can't do the job I'm doing because I'm doing my job. And so that becomes problematic, right? When you are building a team and forming partnerships, just to give you an idea, the 2 business partners that I have at Keegley, I love them. They're incredible human beings. They're both like 2 of the best people I know. I would have never been friends with them in real life. Ever. We have nothing in common. Mm-hmm. We don't like the same music. We don't like the same anything. Hunter doesn't even eat ketchup. He doesn't.
That's wild.
Yeah, he's weird. He doesn't eat ketchup, right? I love him. He's a genius, but he doesn't eat ketchup. I eat ketchup, right? There's people in the world who don't eat ketchup, right? So it's like, now again, I say that to say, like, we were never going to be friends.
Yeah.
But we're incredible business partners because we're so different.
Yeah.
We bring different skills to the table. We bring different perspectives to the table. We bring different qualities. And I would never have gotten that if 3 of my buddies got together and we're like, let's just go start a business together, guys. Because then everybody would be like me and there would be no Keegley. Because Keegley didn't happen with 3 jokers like me. It happens with like 2 and 2 other cats, you know?
Yeah. Here's what I recommend you do in that situation, Jamil. If this is the case here, is get your buddies, go find independent markets from each other. Then set up times where you get on the phone together and you round robin calls and you boost each other up, you give each other feedback, but you're each working your own markets. You're trying to build a business from the ground up and you're just there to support each other. That's better, because you got to remember that when you form a partnership with somebody, you're getting married to that person, and later unwinding those relationships are very, very difficult. It's not easy to unwind a business partnership if someone goes different. If someone wants to go a different way. I was in a 4-year partnership. We split ways. It did not go well. It turned into another 4-year lawsuit. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in a lawsuit with my former partner because we disagreed about how to unwind things, and it got ugly. So like, be very, very careful about what partnerships you get into. I would say of all the partnerships I see in the beginning where people are like, hey, let's go into business together and start a wholesale business, 95% of those are not in that partnership a year, 2, 3 years later. They're not. And you just created a big mess.
There's no risk to the partnership when you start. The risk comes when you actually start making money.
Yeah.
Once you start making money, then decisions get much more complicated.
That's the whole thing.
And when there's money involved, people get weird.
Yes.
People get weird.
They just get weird. Well, when there's cash on the table, people get weird.
And so listen, we have this in the Rhino Tribe in my Wholesaling Inc. coaching program. We have the virtual office where people go in, just people now in there making calls collectively. They're not partners, but they push each other like crazy. Every Monday they do empty the clip, Jamil. They have to talk to 100 people in a day, 100 new people in a day, right? That is exhausting. If you have ever talked to 100 people in one day, it takes you all day long. All day long.
10 hours
and
at least.
There's Eugene Latson in there that's doing it every single day for 90 days. He talks to 100 people.
He's a gangster.
He's a gangster.
Yeah.
And then he's got George Edwards in there that is always busting his balls that he doesn't do big enough deals or that he's not doing it right or all these other things. And they have that environment of productivity that they're not splitting deals with each other. Right. They're not giving 50% because they were in a Zoom making calls. They're independently calling on different lists, going after these properties and supporting each other. And so find that environment, find where you can do that together. And that way you don't give half of your cash machine to somebody else that inevitably, if they're really good and they're better than you, they're going to start their own business. Yeah. And if they're worse than you, they're going to be in your business, not contributing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Jake just clarified and said, thank you guys. What it is there are 3 people leaving a company and they all want to go into to do this together. Right. So I think, Jake, you really asked the best question at the best time.
Yes.
I think the 3 of you need to work together as friends. I think you guys need to be collaborators in accountability, but I think you got to run independent games here, independent shows, but be there for moral support, be there for, to keep each other accountable, to make sure that you're doing the work that you need to do, but stay out of each other's pockets, bro. Stay out of each other's pockets and you guys will be friends till the end. Right. But if you do it the other way, y'all are going to it's going to be a Mexican standoff in no time. And if you guys haven't seen what one of those it's not a racist thing I just said. It's an actual thing, okay? You want to show a picture of what a Mexican standoff looks like? Can you pull that up?
I guess. I don't know.
It's when everybody's got a gun pointed at each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's what happens. That's exactly what'll happen in 6 months. Y'all are going to be like, who's going to go?
There we go.
Yeah.
Let me pull this up. Present, share.
After that, Brent, look up an Indian standoff. I'm curious.
Oh
what
my
that
God.
was.
There it is.
Yeah.
I can tell you what an Indian standoff is, Jerry.
What?
It's when you're at a restaurant and the bill comes and every one of us is like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
These guys. Last question, and I think this is great. Connor, hey, y'all, please forgive me if this question has been asked before or this starts to be repetitive, but with the constant change in the market, what do you believe are some things to keep an eye out for? I'll start if you guys don't mind.
Please do.
Inventory. The amount of inventory will affect everything. All right. The amount of inventory is determined by how many properties are currently active on the market divided by how many are under contract or currently pending. That means that that somebody has already accepted an offer that tells you what is going on in that marketplace right now. What I have found is when inventory goes over 3 months, the spreads that the cash buyers are looking for significantly changes. Mm-hmm. When it gets under 3 months, they get a little bit more confident that they can risk their funds.
Yeah, because it's going to appreciate
buy higher.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's 100% right. So months of inventory is important. Days on market is also super important, right? That tells us how long it's taking for a property to sell. So your investors, they pay attention to that because they've got holding capital and they got to get their money redeployed. And so days on market, if you're starting to see that creep up, that means that your numbers have to be lower. That means there's downward pressure on your acquisition costs, right? So pay attention to days on market, pay attention to months of inventory. I think another thing to really, really pay attention to is just sentiment, is asking questions. Like, how do you feel about where things are going in the next year? I love surveying my buyers. I like just asking questions like, so, it's 25. I got a bunch of deals I'm working right now in the pipe. I don't have quite a contract good enough to bring to you yet, but I called you today because I wanted to get your opinion on where you're seeing the market going for 25. I have my personal opinions. I'm really excited about what's coming, but I'd like to hear your thoughts. and then just get their 2 cents. And those really good buyers that you sell a lot of deals to, start with them, right? And if you haven't sold any deals to any buyers, call them anyways. When you guys tune in on the 9th, when I do my live, not only will I be selling that deal, but I'll be surveying buyers, brand new buyers I've never spoken to before. I'm going to call them and I'm going to confidently get their opinion on where they think the market's going and what they're doing right now. And so you're going to get to see a good mix of what that kind of looks like. But that's what I'm paying attention to. Sentiment's important.
Yeah, I to add to that, the data doesn't lie. The data never lies. Know the data. Jamil and I have a student, Hugh Boy, and he tracks every single month his buyer's buy price in relation to acquisition, and he knows to the T on a rolling number what the percentage of ARV that they're buying at. He'll tell you instantly, my market in Atlanta right now is at 78% loan to value or to ARV, right? Because why? He follows the data religiously. So there's never a question as to like, well, what's the market doing right now? He knows at least he knows as of last month what the market's doing. And then he'll know next month what the market's doing. Why? Because he's tracking the data, right? So like Connor, in a wholesale business, it's all about what Jamil just said, sentiment. It's all about what our buyers are doing. It really doesn't matter what you or I think. It matters what do our buyers think. The better you understand what they're doing, the better you can adjust your business as on the fly, as time goes, right? So what's great about what we do is we really don't care. It doesn't matter to us if it's up, down, or sideways, as long as we're very closely following what our buyers are doing and we're right on their coattails. Then we'll always be bringing inventory to them at the numbers they want to buy at. That's our job as wholesalers. Bring inventory to our buyers at the numbers they want to buy at. That's it.
Well, Nat, you said something that changed the way that I viewed this business, and I've been doing this a long time, and I think you said it a couple of weeks ago. With the sellers, we give them as is value. The buyers pay us based on what they feel the potential for that property is.
That's where we make our profit.
That's why we get paid what we get paid, is what does that buyer determine is the potential of that property. That's game changing. If you guys let that really, really, really sink in, then you don't have to think about, well, why would people sell at this price? And why would somebody pay me to find them deals? They're looking at the potential of that deal,
future
boiled
value
into that. Yes, that's exactly right. And for us to go out there and assume we know what's best for every buyer is asinine.
100%.
It's ridiculous.
Or to use a blanket number like 70%. Maybe it's 70%, but you don't know. You need to learn what the real numbers are in your market, and that takes time. That just means you have to really get to know your buyers and understand your market. Every market's going to be a little different.
Raphael, that's it. Finish.
Well, we know what happened. We know what happened.
Great one, Raphael.
One thing we found really interesting looking at our numbers last year is 2023 to 2024. The price, this is more on the acquisition side, but the price per call was almost to the cent the same. And that really just, the amount of calls we did last year versus 2023 was a lot more, but the price per call was it $27 a call. Think about that, guys. That's if they answer or not. It came out to $27 and almost to the cent. I think they're about 3 or 4 cents off from year to year, but which really just told us the proof is in the outreach, and just by doing the outreach and by staying consistent, I feel confident that we're going to have $27 and some cents again this year per call, because that's what it came out to.
Let's get that up.
Yeah, we're going to try to get that up.
Let's get that to $35 a call.
Yeah.
And then $50 a call.
I'm thinking so.
Every time you call, somebody's like, I'm making $50, baby.
You got to put yourself in that mindset, though. And that's what we have to tell ourselves every day is that, this is $27 a call. I'm making $27, with this call.
That's a flipping amazing metric to think about.
Isn't that cool?
Because whether you win or lose, whether the deal happens or not, you're closer to the yes because it's a no. And so that still tracks. It still tracks. That's nuts.
I would always, in my mind, when I was calling, I always envisioned somebody giving me $1,000 an hour, $1,000 an hour, $1,000 an hour, $1,000 an hour. And when you are in as much debt as I was, and it screwed up as much as I had, that was like, holy cow. And then it happened, and it happened, and then it happened. And then I got up to $1,500 an hour that I was making personally, making these calls to property owners.
Amazing.
This is the best business ever. Thank you guys for joining us for episode 252 of Wholesale Hotline. What do you got going on, Jamil, Jerry, this week?
Just the 9th. Come join me. Watch me make my ex-wife some money.
There we go.
Link is pinned in my chat. If you're not on my YouTube page, just go over there, register, and come hang out. I'm gonna show you how I'm still beholden to my ex-wife.
Yeah, nothing major going on. We're going to be doing some road trip here with our family, and we've got a lot of big things coming up with moving and all kinds of things. So busy, but still going to be putting out regular content and doing all the normal things. Ready to kick off the year.
Guys, make sure that you go to each and every one of our YouTube channels, Pace Morby, Jamil Damji, Jerry Norton, Brent Daniels. Go to our YouTube channels. I am telling you, you've got thousands of hours there of pure instruction, not just, silliness and entertainment, some of that, but instruction for you to go out and find a really great opportunity and get a really great deal as soon as possible. I'm doing a live show Wednesday at 9:00 Pacific Standard Time. That is noon Eastern Standard Time on the Brent Daniels YouTube channel. So join us there. And also make sure that if you like this, if this is hitting all those right spots in your brain, your heart, your belly, go to the podcast and let us know how we did. Give us a review there and put it on when you're driving, when you're at the gym, whenever. We are there, and we really, really love those reviews. And that's it. We out.
Jerry?
While you're in the sauna, too. You could do it.
Yeah, while you're in the sauna. With no pants.
Love you guys.
See you guys. Love you.
See you guys.
Or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
I didn't say nothing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.